So I guess Disneyland is the only park where lands make sense?
If only that were so true. You should probably watch the other two land videos first, just because this has a lot of terms I used in the other two. But Disneyland's lands are not very cohesive, like, at all. First of all, this group of buildings outside of Disneyland is actually part of Disneyland, even though it's not even inside the gates. Also, I'll explain why I cut so far to the side in a little bit. The right side of Main Street is pretty much what you'd expect, with it just weaving out of the buildings. The small amount of pathways to the side are part of Main Street, however the rest are not. Also, the spot in front of the castle is not part of Main Street. Same thing with Frontierland. And then that left side pretty much just follows the buildings again, like on the right side. Before I finish Main Street, let me explain something. The Disneyland Railroad is part of the land that its station is in. So it's split up into 4 different lands, essentially. This means that the border looks like this. Adventureland is pretty easy up here just because you need to cut through the Frontierland shops to make sure they don't intersect. And then right here it just turns to cut off the Adventureland treehouse. Now here's where it gets really weird. Indiana Jones Adventure goes underneath the Disneyland Railroad, which means that this map will have 3D borders where it looks like the borders are intercepting, however it's literally just going over or under something else. Okay, next, the border between New Orleans Square and Frontierland is about here. Also, the Rivers of America belong to New Orleans Square, so the border looks like this. Also, the reason for this curve is because Tiana's Bayou Adventure is not part of New Orleans Square. And just like Indiana Jones Adventure, Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean also protrude out, even though it's not shown on this map. Let me just add the Disneyland Railroad, and now the borders look like this. Now for Bayou Country, it's a lot of easy boundaries that are either 3D or just, they make sense. Now the Rivers of America are part of Bayou Country, but only where it borders the rest of Bayou Country. The rest is Frontierland. And the border goes all the way up to Galaxy's Edge, and then it dips back down. Again, another unseen show building with Winnie the Pooh, and now it's time for Galaxy's Edge. It's very easy to draw, pretty much just trace around the Disneyland Railroad and around the show buildings that are not on this map. Next is Frontierland, pretty much just cut it right here and then extend all the way up, and it's literally just until Galaxy's Edge. Next is Fantasyland, which I just extend all the way past Toontown, and then I'll curl up to It's a Small World. Now it doesn't explicitly say that this dock is part of Fantasyland, but it makes more sense than Tomorrowland. And then the border just goes past Finding Nemo's Submarine Voyage and all the way down. Lastly, Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters is part of Tomorrowland, so it doesn't count. Toontown is pretty nice and simple, just pretty much going around everything, excluding the Disneyland Railroad, which is also part of Toontown, so, Okay, the final land, Tomorrowland. I'm just gonna rip off the band-aid and say that the monorail is part of Tomorrowland, like, all stops. That means that Tomorrowland's borders look like this. And that's the final map, even though it looks unfinished on the right. The monorail somehow fixed it. I promise it all fits. I hope you enjoyed this train wreck of a map. Thank you, Coaster King USA, for the voiceover in the beginning, and, bye.